Hi, again, it's great to see you. It's great to see that you're here with your small group. And again, I hope that you're really growing as you study in the devotions, as you look in the Word, as you're spending time in the sermons and in the small groups. I hope that you're being challenged, and I'm sure you are. It's challenging to me to think of being a follower of Jesus Christ and what that means. This week we're talking about courage, and I want to take you back to that Luke 9 passage. When Jesus said, "Who do people say that I am?" and they said, "Well, you're the Christ, the Son of the living God," Jesus said, "You're right, I am." Then he said, "Listen, deny yourself and come and follow me." You know, when we think of denying ourselves, it means that we have a comfort level that we're used to, we're accustomed to. As human beings, we kind of believe that the world should center around us, and many of us live with that in mind. And listen, if it's dangerous or it takes us out of our comfort zone, then it's not of God, because obviously God wants to make us comfortable, but Jesus wasn't saying that at all. He's saying deny yourself and take up your cross. In other words, he's saying if you're going to follow me, it's going to be dangerous, it's going to be risky, it's going to take faith. You know, it's going to be challenging to the very core of your being. And most people in our culture, listen, they're not very courageous when it comes to facing enemies and to facing themselves and to moving forward. They're seeking comfort rather than being courageous. You know, it takes courage to share your faith. And it takes courage to stay in a tough situation. It takes courage to confront somebody in love when there's a problem, or to discipline somebody. It takes courage, and we are called to have courage, to be courageous. Paul said in the scriptures to men, he said, be men of courage. You only need courage if something is tough, hard, takes endurance. And so here's what I want to say to you. I know that you're being challenged, and people will do one of two things. They'll either go, you know what, I don't really like challenge. Listen, I recognize that my stuff isn't enough, but I'd rather keep the stuff that I have, that I know about, than go into an area of the unknown. That's what the rich young ruler did. He said, no, he came to Jesus saying, I know that what I have isn't enough, because he asked him, what else must I do? He knew it wasn't enough. But Jesus challenged him. And said, go and sell your stuff and come and follow me. And it would have taken courage for him to go outside of his comfort zone. But he didn't. He went away sad. He kept what he had, even though it wasn't enough, rather than step out and experience a life with Jesus Christ, which does take courage, which is based on faith and outside of our comfort zone. So I just want to encourage you tonight, as you watch this next video, as you look at somebody who had to step out in faith, as you watch and you know that Christians around the world are having to step out in faith, I want to encourage you. Are you willing to step out in faith and be courageous? Courageous enough to do what's right in your home, to do what's right in your job, to do what's right with your finances, to do what's right when it comes to sharing your faith and standing on the promises of God? I pray that we are people of courage. God bless you tonight.
Hi, we're Craig and Jill Foss, and we've been coming here to Real Life Ministries for about 11 years. I think for us, historic courage has meant trusting what we feel the Spirit's calling us to do. And that has nothing to do with what people in the world would tell us is the right thing to do. We would never have remarried had we listened to the world. And I really believe that was an act of faith for both of us, to trust that God's big enough to take all those things that were struggles for us, yes, and be able to give them over to Him and know that He can heal that, and He can bless that and use that in an incredible way. And it's the the best thing we've ever done. I really believe.
Yeah.
We're involved in a home group. I guess it would be considered a non-traditional home group. We're not very good, Jill especially, is not
True.
a good rule
No,
follower.
never
So
had. Well,
if you were going to look at the structure of our home group, some might
not a
wonder,
Pharisee.
But it's wonderful. We love it, and we're involved in that, and it's something we can do together. Because I've been involved a lot in men's ministry, and really the desire was to be studying together and to be going and engaging with other couples together, and we have a phenomenal home group, and we are really happy with that.
Home groups were hard for me to go to at first because I was used to, you know, the ones I grew up with in the church, you know, that, you know, you made, yeah.
Follow the rules.
Follow the rules one more time, fail again one more time. And this is different. They just kind of held on to the collar of my shirt, and they put up with me, and they prayed for me, as well as my husband did too.
Yeah, and I think what I've seen through going to real life, both together and when we were apart, is just incredible unconditional love.
Yeah.
I've been in the church my whole life, but I was really I was a Pharisee. You know, I followed the rules, I did the right things, and I've really learned here that, you know, our commitment is to God first, and then to our families, and then to be involved in the church. And the people here are all about making sure, checking in with the folks that are involved on their ministry teams. Hey, how are you doing spiritually, and how are things at home? And the work that has to get done here, yeah, it's got to get done and it's urgent, but that's secondary to that personal relationship. And that has been a huge influence in my life and a huge influence in our marriage.